Oh, that's busted. Oh, that's a bummer. Alright, well, we're gonna have to. Wonder what I can do. That stinks. Alright, here's what we'll have to do. I can't use this anymore. Broke my ring light. Well, that stinks. We'll make this work. Maybe I could do it over the shoulder. As much as it pains me. Sorry, this is no good. Thankfully, nobody's here. Boy, that stinks. I wonder when that broke. Snapped it. Oh well, I'll have to figure something out for that. In the meantime, let's have to kind of do something like this. Get that up a little higher. That's as high as that'll go. Yeah, that'll give you a good angle. We'll just march right on. Go ahead and connect that. Put the pen cap on for now. I just need that for the thumbnail. I should be able to scooch in without. Man, that stinks. I'm disappointed. It's so funny, I didn't even check it before I started. Like, yeah, it's just droopy. Hopefully it doesn't fall on me during the stream here. I guess we'll find out. Go ahead and get it running on my computer so that way I can watch it. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, now, if y'all don't mind, I'm just going to kind of zone out and get to work here while I guess I'll check back on the chat in like 5-10 minutes here. See if anybody's here. But you know, welcome to the live stream. If you're rewinding or you're just joining now, I'm gonna work on some Country Cat. Right now, I've decided today that I don't like this page anymore, and I'm redrawing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up doing that. I feel like I've planned a little bit better for the lettering. I'm going to pencil this a little bit better before I get into inks on that, but I want to get the inks in on the Country Cat here. And already I'm liking this drawing better. So, you know, sometimes it pays to do things twice. Not always a bad thing. But, yeah. Anyway. Alright. leave it be. We could probably still use that mount. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. We're making comics, paper, pen, pencil, the old-fashioned way. But also like scanning it into the computer and formatting it in the computer. So there is, eventually some computer stuff involved. But before that, so I'll finish up blocking in this page, and then I'll start the new one. I'm redoing the first page. I decided I didn't like it the first go around. This was something I was looking at it this morning and was like, oh, I think I can do better. So, yeah, I did that. And then I'll be starting I'll show you what I have done so far since it looks like the chat is active. But this is page one, the redo. Ugh. We got the other pages behind me here. Let's see here. Let's see here. And then we got page 2 right here. Oop, I'm going to knock that down. I don't know if you can see all that there. That's page 2. I am using a TWSBI Fountain pen. The cap unscrews. That's what that looks like. I don't know if it'll focus on it. Let me see if I can get it to focus. I don't think I can get it to focus, but yeah, TWSBI is the pen. 12 by 18 watercolor paper. Canson watercolor paper. What do we have here? That's page 2. Page 3. Well, maybe I can do something like that. You can see that a little better. And then page 4. I think I got a couple of things I gotta block in on here, but otherwise it's done. That's page 4. But yeah, it's coming along, and you know, I'm not afraid to redraw stuff. You know, every now and again, I'm like, it's just not looking right. But you know, that's what a light box is for. You can get the compositions redone pretty quickly. And you know, the more you redraw something, the better it gets. I think, you know, you get a chance to reconsider your choices, however minor. But you know, you got to move forward at some point too. I don't want to obsess over stuff I've already done. You know. Oh, thanks, man. It's just that's what I've chosen to spend my time doing most of the time. Um, so you know, it's just wherever you put your time. You could do it too. Just find something you like to draw, some you like to draw with, and you know, observational drawing's a great way to really hone your skill. Look up blind contour. It's a good technique for gaining confidence in your lines, gaining confidence in what you're seeing and how you're translating it to paper. Um, but yeah, it's just, you know, how you spend your, how much time you spend doing it. Yeah, cat comics seem to be classic. You know, you got Garfield, you got Heathcliff, um, Felix the cat, Crazy Cat, Itchy and Scratchy, Tom and Jerry, Sylvester and Tweety. Oh, cats. You can't go wrong with cats. Tomcat. Top Cat? Top Cat. Hey, man, just keep on plugging away at them. Keep on making stuff. That's the only way to do it. Every time you do it, you'll get better and better at it. Fritz the Cat. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Forgot I printed out. I made my own bootleg Fritz the Cat so I could read them not on my computer. Um, I get lazy with my penciling, that's for sure. I'm trying to get a lot better with that, and I think it's just finding a pencil that works. And I've really been liking these. Just get like a pack of Ticonderogas at Walmart or wherever. Nothing fancy. I used to draw the mechanical pencil, but it's I don't know. I like being able to use the side of the pencil and stuff like that. But yeah, just generally, I catch myself rushing things. Usually in the penciling stage, I'm like, I'll get it figured out in the pen stage, and rarely does that work out. Um, Lettering's difficult too, mostly because I tend to rush through that. That's part of what was wrong with this page here is I messed this up, and I was just going to gesso it, but I've already erased so much that I just redraw the whole thing. Um, so yeah, lettering's difficult. I think figuring out like a good composition too is a little difficult. Trying to like take things and simplify them. You know, um, I mean, it can all be pretty difficult, but you're kind of always just hacking away at it. I think it's just things take a certain amount of time. It's the same thing with ideas too. And sometimes you need to, you know, go through with the bad idea or the bad execution, and that'll get you to the good idea or the good execution. So yeah. Um, when you do your lettering, do you have one of those lettering guides? I got one somewhere around here. I found that when I finally got one of those, it helped me immensely with my lettering. Um, Back to what I was saying about doing good pencils. Um, I found it the same with my lettering. Like if I did good pencils with my lettering, like my letters came out better. Another trick I found too. It's like if you measure out, with a ruler, how big of a space you have for your letters, you can always go into like GIMP or Photoshop or whatever you use and make a space that same size, you know, um, and type out. you know, what your sentence is, so you can get an idea of how it's, you know, works in that size, you know, if that makes sense. Um, and then just kind of copy that formatting, you know, kind of a little cheat there. But it get like that's one of the problems I have with lettering is like I'll rewrite something over and over again because it's not, you know, it's not balanced in the word bubble. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. I love working. Yeah, not a lettering template. It's like an Ames lettering guide, AMES. Let me grab it. I'll show you what it looks like. I think I got it underneath here somewhere. Oh, there it is. One of these guys, an Ames lettering guide. You spin this thing here, and you can get different. There's like numbers along here, and generally I just use like this row of holes here, but like, you know, you use it to measure out. Look up a YouTube video on Ames lettering guide, AMES lettering guide. But that basically will, you use that to draw your lines. Like you'll put, I'm not using it on this comic because I'm not doing a lot of, I'm trying not to do a lot of words in this comic. But like say if I were, you know, you put this on here, you put your pencil in one of these holes, and then you draw your lines, you know, going across, and then, you know, based on how you turn this, you get different size lines, and that's like your guidelines for writing in. But use one of those, that helps a lot. Um, and the other trick I was saying, just like open up like a blank document in like Word, or not Word, like Photoshop or GIMP or whatever your imaging program. Um, and you know, measure out an area the same size, you know, as your word bubble, and just type up your dialogue, and then just play with like, you know, text size, stuff like that, and then, you know, you'll figure out how many lines you'll need and stuff like that, and how it will look, and then just basically, you know, do your observational drawing at that point and copy that. But yeah, little cheats like that help, I think, with lettering. But definitely, if you don't have an Ames lettering guide, I would recommend getting one of these. They're only like $6 on like Amazon or whatever. Or if you got like a Dick Blick, I'm pretty sure Dick Blick carries them. Dick Blick has a lot of comic oriented stuff, more so than like a Michaels. Michaels has a decent like, I don't know, I get paper from Michaels. Um, I don't know, that's pretty much it. Mostly paper. Um, I wish they had more pen stuff, but yeah, it's a really great tool. AMES, Ames lettering guide. Definitely get one if you're having trouble doing lettering. I think, I mean, it helped me out immensely because that was one of the problems I was having was drawing consistent guidelines, you know, to do my lettering inside of. And once you have those consistent guidelines, it actually makes it like way easier, believe it or not. It's like writing on the blue line paper, essentially. Um, you know, if you remember like back in school or whatever. But hey, I appreciate you saying that though. I'm glad you like the other videos, man. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. I think I finally hit like a formula that the YouTube algorithm likes. And I got a good collection of zines and independent comics of, you know, like traded for and or bought or whatever. Um, so yeah, I got plenty of stuff we can look at, and you know, I like to draw and make my own comics. So yeah, I'll try to be regular as I can and try to grow the channel. I think that would be cool. I would like to eventually do a Kickstarter for this comic here. So yeah, tell your friends if you got friends that like comics and like traditional, you know, drawing them the old-fashioned way. and like supporting independent artists and independent art. Tell your friends for sure. But if not, I do appreciate you stopping by and watching and spending the evening with me drawing. Yeah. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'll definitely keep you all posted on stuff like that. It's if anybody's gonna be at Heroes Con in Charlotte, I'm not tabling there. I got some friends, a whole bunch of friends that'll be tabling there. But I'm gonna be walking around on the Saturday. I'm gonna try to get a preview, little ash can zine of this printed. I guess that's what they call it, an ash can. But it's just a little preview zine printed out. I'll include my Florida Batman comic in there, as well as my Dreamland comic. And if you can't make that, I'll probably make it like available. If you purchase something on my website, I'll just include it in a order. Hell yeah, man, dude. What's your one shot? What's your one shot about? What's your comic about? I'm not entirely sure how many pages it's gonna be. I'm estimating about 24 to 28. Based on what I've scripted and thumbnailed so far. I haven't scripted and thumbnailed the whole thing yet. Um, what I have done is about 12 pages, if I remember correctly. But right now, I'm trying to get about 5 to 6 of them done so I can make a decent little preview zine and yeah, have some pieces for a portfolio review and stuff like that. So it's all got to be in service of many different things as in addition to making a book. You know. All right, that looks good. I'm gonna have to hit that with a little bit of gesso there, and then I'm just gonna block this in, and then I'll move to the other page. So funny, both of these I'm leaving this for last, but I will get back to this. I like this setup for the lettering a lot better. Um, cool, man. Yeah, that sounds pretty sick. Like a little Blade Runner, but gun runners with a Blade Runner aesthetic. Shots I need to work out the length. Yeah, the writing process is fun. I find that's a difficult one for me too, because I feel like I got to get in the zone where I got to have an idea that I feel like I can kind of riff on, you know? And then it's just a matter of like sitting myself down and typing, getting as much like imagery as I could think of out of it. Because ultimately, like, with comics, the goal is to draw it. So, like, when I write the outlines, I'm like, all right, just whatever descriptors you can think of, any way you can characterize something. It doesn't have to, but it's hard to get into that zone because it's like almost like an automatic writing kind of zone. And I feel like I have to be like really connected to an idea or just really excited about an idea or something. Can't do it with everything. Haven't honed that skill quite yet, but with this one, I wrote the outline in like 3-4 hours in an evening. It's not necessarily coming up with cartoon plots. I think whatever you plot out is good, but then you have to. Cartooning is just like with drawing. It's an act of like reduction. You got like when you're drawing something, you're trying to take something that exists in the round and simplify it into 2 dimensions. And when you're doing like figure drawing, you do something called gesture drawing. And one of the exercises you do is you try to draw the figure in like 10 seconds, do a pose in 10 seconds with a piece of charcoal. So you end up with like this really quick kind of line drawing. It's a gesture drawing, but it's a reaction. But cartooning is the same. It's born from the same thing. You're basically trying to reduce a complicated situation or a complicated plot into it's like, okay, what's the most necessary information and how can I convey that in a pose or in the way I stage something. And give obviously you have words too, but you don't want to sit there unless you're like Alan Moore and like writing prose is like kind of part of your appeal. um you don't want to sit here and like write a overly wordy kind of essay. I think that's in comics, at least. I think that's it's hard to get an audience on something like that. Again, you gotta, unless like prose is kind of your thing, like an Alan Moore type. But that's a really hard tightrope to walk. Which is why I think whenever I'm cartooning or drawing, what's the simplest way I can do this? And then a lot of times that's the thing that makes a drawing the most interesting, especially if you can do a complicated pose in like a few lines or something. Yeah. Yeah, eventually you got to commit to something though. Just write it down, script it out, storyboard it out, and then once you got that, just try to stick to those storyboards. Reduction and simplification. You got to throw spaghetti at the wall, but then you got to like take away some of the spaghetti and find only the tastiest bits of spaghetti and leave that on the wall. Well, maybe it's time to take a break on that project and try something simpler or something. Just do it. Make up try to just do a one-page comic in like a day without any sort of plan. Just like draw the first panel and then respond to it. Whatever first comes to mind. Get those juices flowing. Or maybe go out and do some chores or something. Sometimes I find that's what you got to do. Like this comic here was born out of mowing the lawn. You know, I love mowing the lawn, especially the first time after winter. You know, um, yeah. So you never know where you'll find inspiration. You don't want to necessarily give up, but don't feel bad about putting something down for a little bit and coming back to it. You can always come back to an idea, especially if you got a bunch of stuff written down already. It can be overwhelming to spend a bunch of time with it and feel like you're not getting anywhere. I like, as far as comics, yeah, really any mundane task is great. If you got some chores that need doing, I always kind of secretly think whatever idea, mental block, you know, comes from you have something you should be doing that you're not doing. Usually for me, it's some sort of chore that I've neglected. Um, but as far as like comics that are like inspirations to me, I always come back to Robert Crumb. I like Mobius a lot, and Frank Miller. Those are probably my three favorites. Nothing too obscure or that surprising. I think everybody kind of likes those guys. But I'm obsessed with. I've probably reread their stuff more so than anything else. Um, as far as like superhero stuff, I like Frank Quitely a lot. I love the way like his run on Batman and Robin with Grant Morrison was one of my favorites. I love the way he draws figures. Um, some people don't really like his like wrinkly faces and stuff like that, but I love the texture in all of his drawings. I think they're amazing. Um, as far as stuff I've read recently, I really like that Ice Cream Man series. That one's a lot of fun. I forgot I brought like a little snack in here with me. What did I do with that? What did I do with my snack? Well, whatever. I'll find it eventually, and I'll eat it. But for now, let's start another page. Ugh, I'm gonna stand up real quick because I bet I do want to find this snack though. I want to eat it. Give me a second here. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's in my back pocket. I've been farting on it. Mm. Yeah, Eisner's up there. He's one of those. I feel like he's like a given though. Like you don't even got to mention Will Eisner. But yeah, sitting down and like actually reading the Spirit, um, whether or not the genres for you, the way he goes about breaking down the stories and his pen work, his brush work, everything is like that's the standard. The Contract with God is very good too. Anyway, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'll be right back. We'll start another page. Don't go nowhere. Tell your friends. All right. All right. So, because I'm using such simple layouts, one of the benefits of that has been oh yeah, Bombodi's good. Milk and Cheese. Oh yeah, Evan Dorkin. Gary Larson. I like Paul Chadwick a lot. I don't know if you guys have read Concrete, but I like that series a lot. Paul Chadwick's really good too. All right. I'm going to use that because I need to make a 2x6, 2x3 template. Okay. Let me get a new sheet of paper here. All right. All right, here's a reject page here. What I'm going to do, I need to use I'm going to break this thing. I basically need to use this layout here. One of the things I'm doing, I'm using these very simple layouts, 2x3. What was the last one? 3x4, alternating between that generally. And what that does for me, it allows me to do things like this. I'm going to use the light box and trace the layout onto here, so we have our boxes just ready to go, all formatted correctly, so that they'll print at the correct aspect ratio. That's for film. Aspect ratio is for at the correct, whatever the equivalent of aspect ratio is for print. Dimensions. All right. I need to turn off the light in here. Give me a second here. Pardon me. No, I went to school for it. I've always drawn. I did AP art in high school, and then I went to community college and got a graphic design degree, and then I went to university, finished out, and got a bachelor's in studio art. So not no, I mean I went to school, but I'm not very accomplished. I ended up being a house painter for a while. Just kind of do odd jobs and freelance and stuff. And the lines don't got to be like super perfect. Yeah, I mean a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's, I can, you know, we'll see how it goes. I think I got a decent book idea here, and I got some friends. I got some friends. You can't do it alone. You got to have some friends, and you got to have a lot of patience. So we got to be careful about not smearing the ink. Hey man, thanks for stopping by. And yeah, just I'm gonna get this thing chugging along. I feel like I'm working on it pretty fast, but I definitely want to get the Kickstarter launch probably, hopefully, before the end of the summer. But yeah, it just depends on how quickly I can work on this too. I got kind of getting my busy season starting, so. But I'm determined, and I'm really liking this idea I have. So yeah, just stay tuned. Keep stopping by. I'll have something up about it. All right, so there's our panels. Turn on my light so I can see better. Get out the pencil. Get out our handy dandy thumbnails. So these are the thumbnails. This is how you plan out your comic. So it's important to have a sketchbook. But you know, I write the outline, move to the scripting phase, which also means we're drawing thumbnails. We want to figure out how many panels we're doing on a page. I got a whole video about that if you go to my videos. It's like 2 or 3 back, but I'll show you how I go through that process. Sorry, a little bit of water. All right. So we have country cat. So we're getting into the penciling portion now. And again, I have thumbnails, so this is kind of my model for what the shape of all my panels are going to be looking like. And then, you know, as I'm drawing them with pencil, I'll be refining them, hopefully refining them, and giving myself enough information to then hit it with the pen. You know. drew the lawnmower. That's the one. That's the one I want. Every now and again. Need that one. I want to look at this one. Where is it? There we go. This is the one I want to see.
Oops, dropped my sharpener.
Forgot to draw the tail. All right. Well, I think I'm hitting the wall here, guys. We got about 102 minutes here. That's not bad. So, yeah, not too bad. I'm gonna finish these pencils tomorrow. Probably not on stream, but I'll post the results when I'm done. In the meantime, thanks for stopping by. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. Um, I'm gonna try to post videos every Friday. Missed this Friday, but it is what it is. But I got some cool books actually I want to look at for the next one. So stay tuned if you like manga and if you're a fan of X-Men. I'll just leave it at that. Um, thanks a lot. Have a good one.